less because their ideas were coming from Germany where things were different than America. They needed to keep those ideas behind them, and they needed to focus more on the present, what they could do now. That may have been one of the things to cause another crisis in the company, is they focus more on what had worked before. At Mercedes, in certain divisions, they cut rebates on cars, so it helped to create a different image for the company, because we're not the company that offers you a rebate on your Mercedes. We're not the company that it's just you go to for a cheap product, something, just a commodity. We're different than a commodity. Our car is a valuable product, and that was the image they were trying to create. And it worked for them back in Germany, but when they came to America and tried to do that for Chrysler in order to get them Chrysler to stray away from the big three concept, to make them different from GM and Ford in the minds of the consumer, they attempted to cut rebates, and they did it in a time when GM and Ford were sticking with it. So what ended up happening is, 1, 2, 3 years after they get there, they cut these rebates, and they start looking at the numbers, and the cars just were not selling, and things were actually continuing to slope downward. Now, Nissan, they had a little bit of a different problem. They had the framing bias. Basically, Japanese workers, and ingrained in the Japanese culture, is the idea of risk. You want to keep your risk low. You don't want to take chances, as Yao pointed out earlier in the presentation, and that is something that Ghosn had to deal with differently than at Chrysler. He had to deal with getting people to avoid the framing bias, getting people to take risks, whereas Chrysler, Bernard and Zech had to get people, they had to get rid of their own bias, which was to realize that things that worked in Germany weren't going to work in America necessarily. And that is our presentation on Nissan and Chrysler. You saw some similarities and differences from Chris Connor and
Yao Wen. Thank you for this semester. You have been really helpful for me, especially forgive me for my English barrier.
And it's been real. It's been a good class. Enjoyed it, and
have a great summer.
Thank you. Have a great summer.